are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Official test start time 2 minutes. Start of the day. Um, 5 pages, 5 paragraphs each. 5 words per sentence. 5 computer spaces in between each paragraph. 5 revisions. Please show the work. You can use your hyperscientific. You can use any artificial intelligence, but you must show the work. If you do not show the work, I'm going to assume you use only technology, and you will get zero credit for it. So let us rock and roll. We got a few things to start our day. Of course, we're going to start with the markets. Markets is on fire. Asia is where it's at. Japan is where the money is. I'm not into the forex thing, but I am keeping track of what's going on. Bitcoin is on fire. I have a business meeting with Mr. Jo on Wednesday and Mr. B, so shout out to them. Shout out to Mauricio Ruiz and the manager's playbook. Um, I see things are evolving, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Shout out to all my family members and friends, my colleagues, my business partners, my clients, and of course, my customers. If you're in the market for an exotic vehicle, please give us a call 504-202-5915, cyraxplex@gmail.com, and I am your host. Or if you know somebody looking for a Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Koenigsegg, Aston Martin, Lotus, Hennessy, uh, SSC to Atara, anything that's exotic, let me know. We also do have program cars for vehicles that can help you build your credit. If you pay off a vehicle for me, I can sell you anything in my inventory. If you know anybody looking for a $5-6 million Ferrari, uh, give me a call. Give me the opportunity to earn your business. So I have very, very nice things in my inventory, um, including 333 SPs, SP3s, SP1s, Enzo, LaFerrari, Sion Roadster, Senna. I have a few of the Lamborghini race cars. And let's get started. Before we go into commodities, before we go into the markets, we are going to start with the psychology series because I recognize that you guys really benefit from that style of content. And I try to give you guys a variation. So the premise and the purpose here is for you guys to write what is your perspective? How does it apply to you in your unique situation? Before we get started, let's go to our Play Store or iTunes for you guys, the Apple Store. Please type in Brian Tracy and please open your 21 Secrets of Success. Today's the 21st, so um, let's see what the 21st success secret is. And let's share that today. You guys ready? Let's go. Pass the persistence test. Nothing can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Quote by Mr. Calvin Coolidge. Persistence is the iron quality of character. Persistence is to the character of a man or woman as carbon is to steel. It is the absolutely indispensable quality that goes hand in hand with all great success in life. And here is one of the great secrets of persistence and success. Program your subconscious mind for persistence, well in advance of the setbacks and disappointments that you are going to have on your upward quest toward success. Resolve in advance that you will never give up, no matter what happens. When you are overwhelmed with a problem or difficulty, You do not have enough time to develop the necessary persistence to deal with the setback or disappointment. But if you plan in advance for the inevitable ups and downs of life, when they come, you will be psychologically ready. You will be prepared. The courage to persist in the face of adversity and disappointment is the one quality that, more than anything, will guarantee your success. Your greatest personal asset can be your willingness to persevere longer than anyone else. In fact, your persistence is a true measure of your belief in yourself and your ability to succeed. Remember, all of life is a test. For you to have great success, you must pass the persistence test. And this test is often a pop quiz. It can come at any time, usually totally unexpectedly and out of left field. You take the persistence test whenever you are confronted with an unexpected difficulty, disappointment, setback, failure, or crisis in life. This is where you show yourself and everyone around you what you are truly made of. Epictetus, a Greek philosopher, once wrote, circumstances do not make the man, they merely reveal him to himself. The one inevitability in your life is recurring crisis. If you are living a busy life, you will have a crisis every 2 or 3 months. In between these unavoidable crises will be a continuous succession of problems and difficulties. And the more goals that you attempt to reach, the bigger your dreams, and the more determined you are to become a self made millionaire, the more problems and crises you will experience. The only factor you can control is how you respond to difficulties and setbacks. And the good news is that every time you respond in a positive and constructive manner, you become stronger and better and even more capable of dealing with the next problem or crisis that comes along. Eventually, you will reach a point in life where you become absolutely unstoppable. You will become like a force of nature. You will be irresistible. You will become the kind of person who never quits, no matter what the difficulty, no matter what obstacle is put in your path. You will find a way to get over it, under it, around it, or through it. You will be like the Energizer Bunny in the television commercials. You will keep going and going and going. Action exercise. What is the most difficult situation you are facing in your life today? Number one, whatever it is, imagine that it has been sent to you at this time to teach you a valuable lesson that you need to learn to be even more successful in the future. What could that lesson be? Number two, from this moment onward, always seek the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. You will always find it, and it will help you in your quest to become a self made deca trillionaire. All right, we don't use the word millionaire, billionaire around here. All right, so that's a good premise. Let me see what kind of background I can give you guys on that. So I have to go from engineering, right, or just being an entrepreneur to being a doctor. So I am currently reflecting on a few things. Good morning, sir. How you doing, Mr. Tuck? Always good to see you. Right, 2023, I published my first 45 books. In a sense, it was like a declaration of war to the universe. It was my personal dream board, right, in a book format. I had paperbacks, I had deluxe size, regular size, um, every version of the book that I can have, 6 by 8, 8 by 11, whatever. So that students could afford it, entrepreneurs could afford it, etc. The average price per book was about $100. Some were a little bit less, depending. Like if you got a paperback for the students, those were probably like 40, $50. But it changed the dynamic of the reality around me in a positive way because it opened up so many doors. For me to be able to say I'm a published book author, 45 books. I have written like another 16 books, and I took a little pause. Then I wrote like another 24 books indirectly out of the frustration of the challenges that I was facing, right? And I winded up taking the books from Amazon. I had a problem with Kindle Direct Publishing, and I put everything on my LinkedIn. So if somebody really wanted to read the material in the book, they could go on my LinkedIn and read it and develop their own discernments and conclusions and perspectives. It was supposed to be like a learning university, right? Where every person could bring in their insight. And my writing style is like conversation style. So everything is in concept. So whatever you may not grasp or understand, you can fill in the blanks yourself, right? And the goal and the inclination was to not only prove to independent artists that this could be done, because at the end of the day, I'm an artist, you know what I'm saying? But to give everybody kind of like a guideline so that they could reflect on their products and their services, their industries and their trades, their business and their investments, whatever their jobs or careers are for the short term, midterm, or for the long term in their future. Um, it created a very negative cloud with my relatives. They really took it upon themselves to take offense to the fact that I had done that. Um, and at that level, I winded up publishing about 12 different volumes, and each volume, if I'm not mistaken, had like 2 or 3 books. It was like a whole course, right? And looking back at it, from my blood relatives, it was used as a weapon against me. In a sense, it's like I was condemned. Like, how dare you write a book? How dare you write 2 books? How dare you publish 45 books, right? And you're still writing, you got 60, you got another 40 books, right? So technically, um, a few things had changed, right? So some of my books were like 400 pages. I reached an agreement with Kindle Direct Publishing where I could minimize the books, and each book could be at least 75 to 77 pages so that I could publish everything like in the library, right? So it would be like an encyclopedia for business for people that are self educated, self taught, right? So every specific individual could pick like the one book that they needed to achieve their breakthrough. And looking back now, I have the opportunity to reprint the books, maybe using a different distributor, and it's just something else that I have in my catalog, like another wild card that is still there. And again, now that it's available online for free, I just tell people just go on my LinkedIn and go through the prompts, go through where you need to go to so you can get to to the articles and stuff like that. Well, there was a message in the bottle, right? There was a hidden message in the context of those things. Everybody is not geared or wired for success because they haven't primed themselves to be. And most of the time, the sheeple, like the sheep and the shepherd mentality, will actually attack anything that they have not been indoctrinated into belief. So, because it's difficult for them to have goals and have dreams and have aspirations, anytime they hear that kind of language, it's like they're allergic to it. it becomes a target for them. And we all have to be careful with the dream killers because they're everywhere, especially right now where people's attention span is very short, very delicate, very petite. When you approach people with these concepts, they just don't understand. I'll give you an example with my music career. Right? Been in music since I was a kid. What I've experienced in the music business and the music industry, I could write books for the rest of my life. I see examples every day. I live through examples. I am a living example, right? Some people are amazed. They're like, yo, you went through all of that, right? Mind you, they only know 1% of 1% of 1% of 1%. And I tell them the most amazing thing is that the story is 100% real and genuine. But even greater than that is the fact that this is day one. This is the beginning. All that stuff was just priming my career for this situation where I'm negotiating a 10,000 song catalog. What's even more intriguing is that I have nothing bad to say about anybody. As far as I'm concerned, I know nobody in the music business or the music industry or entertainment, period. I have nothing to say about anything or anybody. Not in the smallest thing, not in the most medium thing, not in the biggest thing. And that's growth. And that's what people don't understand. Most people have the Al Bundy syndrome. They remember the Hail Mary touchdown, the wide receiver catching it, touchdown. They go for the win, they win the Super Bowl, whatever. I'm not looking in the past. When I see a new business opportunity, let's say for a potential partnership or something like that, I move away from people that are constantly telling me what they did in the past and whatever. I don't care about what you did in the past. I care about what are we going to do today. I don't have time to digress into people's journeys because everybody's journey is different. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. Everything is just remixed in a different way. So I wouldn't advise for anybody that's an entrepreneur that's fighting for a future to succumb and become victim to these things because it's just people projecting their insecurities onto you and expecting you to deal with it, like expecting for you to carry all of your plates of your life and all of their plates, etc. I come from an extremely toxic family. They built me like a warrior. I am untouchable. I am the Silver Surfer. I have the power of cosmos. I travel through time and I travel through the cosmos. That's what I do for fun. You know, there's nothing that the media, the public, society, people, I am untouchable. I destroy them in my presence. Why? Because my family trained me to deal with sharks and piranhas and energy vampires and negativity and being belittled, being put down. I also see that the good people are rising to the top like the cream of the crop, right? And again, it is those people that I have selected and cherry picked to bring on board. I give you the example of Mauricio Ruiz, which I fired not too long ago. I fully understand the situation, and I also grasp the concept that everybody does not. Everybody does not have my education. Everybody's not walking around. I'm a lawyer, I'm an engineer, I'm a serial entrepreneur, I'm an artist, I'm a franchisee. I'm into so many things, but for me, that's my comfort zone. For most people, it's not their comfort zone. You know, when I leave here, I'm going to the yacht club. From there, I'm driving one of my Lamborghinis. Most people don't understand what that is. They don't relate to that. They don't understand. They just see the end product. They don't see the process. Look at Jay Leno. Jay Leno retired from his career as a showman, on television, And his focus now is automotive history because he enjoys his automotive collection. That's his life. No matter what you think about him, what you perceive about him, he worked hard his entire life to be able to do that. And now I understand that dynamic. I have business partners that have many businesses. I have business partners that have a few businesses. In the same way that I have business partners that just have one business and would pay me to help in consultations to administrate that business. Everybody's journey to success is slightly different. Of course, you're going to face similar challenges, social political pressures. People are going to put you down. They're going to tell you that it's impossible. They're going to give you a million and one reasons why it won't work. But always remember that all you need is one reason why it can work. And wherever you find that 1%, that's where you apply your 99% that you have left of your energy. Because the rewards are all yours to reap. And there will be like a filtration that will happen during this moment, right? Little by little, people will fall from the wayside. People will leave your immediate circle. I don't have to worry about my business partners being disrespectful because they're all elite, respectful people. I don't have to worry about the fact that they may not have an education because they all have formal educations. The majority of them do. Some are self-taught. Those are my favorite because I'm self-taught, right? So I can relate to that dynamic. In our social political circles, we deal with all of this judgment or seclusion just because what we are uh, developing is so outside of the box. Let me give you a real world example. In the military, my technology company was part of a competition. I was the smallest company. For 5.5 years, out of possibly 6 or 7 years, my company was number one, right? I lost due to technicalities. And again, I didn't lose because partnerships came from it, like so much commerce, business came from it. But if I sat here and I told you, okay, Tesla's entire game plan is robotaxi. If you watch the movie Total Recall, it'll give you an idea. Tesla runs on autopilot. Autopilot runs on unique homebrew of hardware software. Now, Radarplex is my system. Radarplex used to be a military design that became a civilian design through medical technology. Radarplex has been far superior to autopilot since inception. It was designed to be better. Throughout the battles of the competition, then going on to the civilian world to do business on a government contracting level, we've merged partnerships in different projects. And that is growth, that's maturity as an entrepreneur because I could have kept the chip on my shoulder when I started. I put up a few $1 million. I had a chip on my shoulder throughout the entire process. But if I told you today that Radarplex will always be superior to autopilot, most people will say, wow, I don't have the resources that Elon Musk has. I don't have his connections. I don't have his networks. I can't access the financing that he's able to access. So right now, he has the lead, not Elon Musk, Tesla, the system, autopilot. But throughout time, the market has proven that Radarplex has a specific need. And where a system like autopilot, because every manufacturer has their own, it lacks those capabilities, that actually worked in my favor to design newer systems. So even my NFTs come from that technology, which my whole catalog is in NFTs, my video game system, wearable technology, augmented reality technology, all these prototypes, like it all goes together cohesively, right? So one of the challenges is how do you convey that? How you doing? Good morning. Have a blessed day. How do you convey that, right, to your loved ones that, in my case, come from villages and mountains where there are no roads? Not only are we talking technology, it's already outside of their realm, but we're talking elite technology. We're talking Hopper system, Huawei, the Korean 990 chip, which is what RadarPlex runs on. Um, Video gaming systems, the Xbox. Look at the new PlayStation, the new Nintendo Wii. This is what's going on. Look at the Exynos 2600 for Samsung. We just did a module on that yesterday. This is like as of right now. How you doing, my love? Good morning. Yo, I seen you the other day at Walmart. I wanted to say what's up, but I was with one of my business partners, and I had to get a few things for one of the investments, but I didn't mean to be rude. So God bless.
I think I saw you too.
Yeah. Yo, I was running.
Which
I was
one
getting
was it?
candles, Hot Wheels for the kids, ice cream. I was getting a whole bunch of stuff for the
Yeah,
business.
I did see you.
So yeah, yo, I seen the baby had braids. You know how to braid hair?
My baby?
Uh huh. I
Well,
think the
no,
baby
I
had braids.
had one of my coworkers braid his hair.
Yo, get me that person's information. Tell him I'll give him $100. I need something done with this. I look crazy out here. But yeah. I need my
I know,
hair
I look
braided.
crazy too.
I think. Yo, that's your baby?
Yeah,
How old is the baby?
he's gonna be 2 in November.
Yo, he's mad big,
I
yo.
know. He was like,
I thought he was like 5, yo.
no.
Yo, he's mad strong. He look like a baby Superman, yo. I think, right? So all these opportunities, right? All these opportunities emerge from situations that I could have taken the wrong way. And had I allowed my loved ones, right, they would have crumbled my company. They would have told me quit. They would have told me give up. They would have told me, Spanish people will say, go open up a barbershop, go open up a restaurant, open up a used car dealership, open up a nightclub. No, I've done that already. Throughout the course of my life. I've moved on, I've elevated from that. These opportunities I had to develop for myself. And I had to invest all of my money. I cashed out on one big business. And at the time, I only had a few business partners for that venture, right? I told everybody, come join me. Yo, technology. They blew their money, millions of dollars. They started businesses, they all failed. Look at Bitcoin right now. We hit 116,000 and change. It went back down to 110,000, 108. So we lost $2,000 since yesterday. But again, you have to understand that you're talking to a person that was part of this Bitcoin white paper from day one. When the technology emerged, I was a day one person. You know, I didn't even take it fully seriously till we hit around 17,000. That was my okay. This is going. There's no point of return because my inclination was we need to beat gold. Once we went past that, it was a no-brainer. But again, throughout these moments, it built a very tough armor in my heart and in my spirit and in my soul. For the simple fact that people would take every opportunity to say, yo, sell the business, get rid of it. I'll give you an example. In the automotive side of my portfolio, my engineering firm, right? I have over 24 prototypes. Guess who they belong to? They're all mine. Even if I don't take the company public, even if I don't do anything with them, I have 24 cars that don't exist anywhere else on earth that nobody else has. And that's not from my car collection because I have many exotics in my collection. That's just to give you an example, right? So all of that progress, right, has been a learning lesson. As a matter of fact, let me give you another example. John Hennessy just bought his Venom GT. The Venom GT was the prototype to build what became the Venom GT. The Venom GT was powered by a twin turbo Viper engine, which went on to break many records over 270 something miles an hour. Well, at the auction, the original prototype came up for sale. The original prototype was engineered and designed around the ZR1 from the sixth generation Corvette's powertrain. So it's supercharged, the LS9. The car went below market value. Good morning, my love. Good morning. Um, the car went for below market value, but the significance of the car is priceless. It's back in this collection. Very few minor things have to be done to it. It was very, very well taken care of. And it's the original prototype. It's the only one with 8 cylinders and it's supercharged. The other ones have small blocks or big block V8s, but they're twin turbo. They're not LS9s, and not all of them are powered by the Viper engine. How humbling is it for somebody like Mr. Hennessy, whom I relate to, like a Horacio Pagani? To give you an example, like um, Carol Shelby from and Gerald Shelby from SSC, which is not related to Shelby Motorsports and Shelby Motor Cars. They just have the same last name. If he was humble enough to go buy his prototype from the open market, what is that to say about me? Did anybody put him down for that and say you shouldn't buy the prototype, or you shouldn't buy your company's legacy, or you shouldn't go back to the past? He didn't lose. Everything went full circle. The car that started it all for that program, God gave it back to him. That's how I look at it from my religious perspective and lens. John Hennessy is somebody that started with a Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4, a car that I bought from my dad at 19 when I first got into petroleum, leaving the music industry like fresh, a few years out. A car that I think I paid like 56,000 for. It was 322 horsepower. All-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, active aero, V6 VTEC, 6-speed, get-track transmission. It was a powerhouse for what you were getting. Mine was white, red leather. I actually drove it from New Orleans to New York in a record-breaking 14 hours. But that's a whole nother conversation. And shout out to everybody in the Gumball Rally. Back in the days, it was more underground. It wasn't like it is now. Shout out to Daily Driven Exotics as well. So, again, this is just to give you an example, right? Once again, John Hennessy is somebody that has unlimited resources, comes from an elite family, like the Conan says. Like, you know, you could even say Pagani now, right? And here I am in a similar situation, yet you don't see me complaining in any way, shape, or form because it's part of the natural course of success. You're going to face challenges. You're going to face um, limitations. You're going to face difficulties. You're going to face judgment. People are going to put you down. People are going to laugh. People are going to this, that, and the other. And remember, my family lacks in education. Once you are a PhD, like for myself, I'm a multiple PhD, and I have to remind people, like I tell people it's day one and they just forget, right? You assume everybody has culture. You assume everybody has an education. You assume everybody has a background. You assume everybody keeps up with the markets in the world like you. And when you have a conversation, it tends to fall apart because people cannot grasp the concept. If they saw it on TV, they would be amazed. Imagine speaking to me face to face and me telling you, yo, anything is possible. And me telling you, yo, you know what, in the next 6 years, you should be able to make $1 million. But 6 years, they told me it would take a lifetime. No, it takes average 6 years. If you're bright, you could do it in half of the time. If you're a genius, you could do it in a third of the time. Anything above that is just magic. It's just all the stars align for you. What do we do with that? These are my mentors. These are the people that I look up to. Do you know how hard it is to do business with the United States government? AFES, the number one government contractor for the United States Air Force, Space Force, Navy, Marines, etc. I have businesses directly with the United States of America. I am a government contractor through AFES, the biggest independent government contractor in the United States. You know how hard it is to do that? I'm from the Bronx and from Harlem. I'm from Uptown. I live on the West Coast. I listen to rap. I like hot sauce, chicken wings. Do you know how hard that is to get into a military competition with a few $1 million and beat everybody? Not one season, 2 or 3, 4 seasons a year, 5.5 years, almost 6 years. I lost because of tire technology and a chip that the presidential administration, the first Trump administration, made in me. That's all in my books. Remember, I'm an artist. Remember, I come from a village where there were no roads. Remember that my family is dirt poor. Remember that they don't have an education. They never went to school. Very few of them graduated. Whenever they got their first degree, they got a job. That's it. They stuck to that and they don't know anything else. Who am I to say, yo, dreams come true? Yo, this is possible. In my music career, I'll give you an example with Guinness, right? I know Guinness like most people don't because I'm in litigation against Guinness. It's been over 4 years. Guinness has been giving me this running line. Guinness asked me for $25 million, like it was a cup of coffee, because I broke so many records. Every record is on average 10 to 15 grand, maybe 20 grand now, or 25. I own gas stations that were a few $1 million. I built a company that was $3.3 billion, but I didn't do it by myself. And out of 300 gas stations, I only managed about 35 of them, and only three were directly my investment. Who am I to say that it's possible? Who am I to tell people, you know what, Guinness is not even important because everything is on the blockchain. And you take people to OpenSea and Rarible and you show them the collection and they're still like, I don't get it. What don't you get? All the songs that I have with Taylor Swift, I own half, she owns half. We split, you know, 20% from mine to the producers and 20% of hers to the producers because I set aside 40% of the royalties and publishing, everything mechanical to the producer. I just had a discussion about that online. All the managers playbook, which you could find them on YouTube. And I'm speaking directly, not only to my research leads, I'm speaking directly to the entire TMP team, which is the new version of TMP, which if you know the original TMP. So all these things culminate, right? All these things have led us to this point where I had to simplify things for people that don't understand, right? So all we're doing is developing the pursuit to secure the financing for the auctions for my digital assets, even minimizing everything down to just that. People don't understand, people don't get it because it's not their thing. Their livelihood doesn't depend on it. Their loved ones, their descendants, their future doesn't depend on it. Most people want to be followers. Most people want to be spoon fed. Yo, this is the new iPhone. This is the new AirPods. This is the iPad. This is the PlayStation 5. Most people don't think of how can I make this better? How can I incorporate myself into this business? I want to give a shout out to Mr. Omar, who wrote one of the articles for the module that we did yesterday. Do you know what his specific um, ingenuity is? He's not just a tech writer and an editor for multiple, websites, etc., which he's phenomenal, by the way. He focused on the supply chain. This is the first time in my life I've ever had a writer say that, oh, you know what my focus is? It's the supply chain. It's how things are made. It's how they get the silicone to make the hardware to make the software. So yeah, he writes about technology, but his knowledge is world class. I give you an example of my clothing line. My business partners don't have a manufacturing problem. They have a marketing and a branding problem. That's where I come in. I solve a very tiny portion of the product. That's all I am. The centrifugal force. I'm the V12 engine in the Ferrari, the Porsche, the Lamborghini. Most people are not comfortable just being that essential part because they don't understand that it's better to have a little bit of many, many things. How many things are in my portfolio? You name it, you imagine it. There's a business industry trade. I probably blew millions of dollars and have many unsuccessful horror stories. For every successful business that I own today, I have 44 failures. I failed 44 times before home run. Most people would have quit at one. Most people would have quit at two. Most people would have quit at three. I've been dealing with the backlash from the very beginning of my life. People say, no, it can't be done. Boom, then I go through it. And I move on to something else. No, it can't be done. Boom, then I go through it. And I continue to go through this process over and over again because success is not going to change who I am. Money is not going to change who I am. Status, which I'm Jewish, I don't care about. None of those things are going to stop this internal V12 and the clock that is ticking, tick, 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 tick. The biggest threat to success, or let's say people aspiring for success, is overcoming the negativity. It's overcoming the doubt and the worry and the, oh my God, but it can't be done because you're going to have a million people tell you that it's impossible. And all you need is that one person. I realize that even minimizing things to the smallest minute, it's impossible to learn because I'm speaking Japanese to a Chinese person, or I'm speaking Chinese to a Japanese person. Looks the same, sounds the same, but it is not the same. I'm a very, very secure man. I know what I bring to the table. Most people are not comfortable in their own shoes. And that's just the reality. They're not going to pick up a book. They're not going to go to a business class or course. They're not going to go to a seminar because they're always going to be looking at the end result. How much money am I making in this position for this Fortune 500 company? They don't see what they're becoming in the process and how that opens up more doors. All I ever needed in my life was an opportunity. And because the world never gave me an opportunity, I had to always go and seek an opportunity. Let's use Mauricio Ruiz as an example, which I know he's watching. Thank you for tuning in, Mr. Mauricio. And I'm sorry I had to fire you. It's nothing personal, it's just business. Who am I to approach Mauricio and say, yo, you, like I told him yesterday, you're the greatest of all time at what you do. And I'm the greatest of all time at what I do. And if we put it together, championships. Let's compare it to Phil Collins, or not even Phil Collins. Let's go Phil Jackson and let's go Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. It's impossible. It's like I heard one of my business partners, he was having a conversation last week. He said it's like trying to convince yourself that Shaq and Kobe is not going to work. It's impossible. But who am I to approach this person and say, yo, I get it. The message you're trying to convey to the public, I understood it day one. Now let's do business because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to do business. All I want is the opportunity to earn your business. I think he got scared. I think he got cold feet. I think that he relied too much on the people around him. He did not see what I'm seeing, that those people are not really letting you inside the door. They're showing you the gates. They're waving at you. It's still a friendly interchange, but they're not really saying, yo, come with me. And not just come with me like this, like a boss, like an owner, like a proprietor, pride of ownership. This is the real game. That's where I see a problem. So here I come, yo, we got this. We don't need those people. Tell all those people we'll get back to them in a few months. Me and you, let's go handle this business because the opportunity is there. Months are passing, weeks are passing, days are passing. Technology changes every few minutes. And the value only goes up. Hardware, software costs millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're not going to stop making it. The prices are not going to go down. They're only going to go up. So that means increase in value in this portfolio, in this catalog, and everything that we're administering. So time is of the essence. Please relate to my frustrations because I'm like, yo, this person doesn't get it. That dog is not going hunting. This is our path. I can show you how to show those people who you are, and they will come to you because that's part of their system. All you need to do is hit a few home runs. And all those people that you're reaching out to, they're going to be the ones calling you. You also can be in a position of privilege and power by just thinking outside the box and not being afraid. All those people around him have overlooked him in one way, shape, or form or the other. And I'm not here to judge, I'm just calling a spade a spade. What can I do? Nothing but pray. And with time, time has demonstrated to this person. Do you understand what I'm talking about now? You could have been a deca millionaire a few months ago. What are you waiting for? You know what's for somebody to call you and offer you a few deca millions of dollars? And for somebody to be like, I don't understand. Okay, all right, don't get it. We'll find the person that does. And I'm looking for that person. We'll find the people that do get it. And I'm looking for those people every day. We're going to help God's people. I'm going to give away $3, $4 million every day for the rest of my life. I don't know about you, but I know I am. Everything comes full circle. Gave you the example with Homeland Security, Department of Defense, now Department of War, Air Force, Space Force, right? I'm a minority. I'm Spanish. I'm dark skinned. I love the Yankees. I love the Dodgers. I love the Mets. I love hot sauce. I listen to music loud. In my culture, we speak loud. I love art. I love music. I love dancing. I love live events. I love technology. I love cars, right? But I'm still in the realm. I didn't just break World Guinness records. I established many more. I established thousands of records. I only broke like 24 existing records, but then I established a few thousand. So what are we talking about? Where are we at? This is the reflection of a person who is still deep down within themselves insecure that this is a possibility that this could happen. So all I can do is continue my company, continue to grow it and develop it outside of outside external forces or factors and show this person throughout time that yo, this opportunity is not going to be around forever. Granted, I have no control of that, only God knows, right? So the door may open, the door may close, but that person, that collective, will have no one to blame but themselves because what you put into this is what you're going to get out. I can't make it a music thing because all I have to say is, yo, 10,000 songs in my catalog. And then what are you going to tell me? All of a sudden, music industry, music business people, they don't want to talk about music because I overwhelmed the systems. I destroyed their systems. Nobody has more bars, more hooks, more bridges, more songs, more mixtapes, more EPs, more albums, more double albums, more triple albums, more quadruple albums, more masters, more compilations, and I could just keep going and going and going and going. Over 9,000 producers. I put away 40% of everything for them from day one. They didn't even know them. Gave them a chance. Producers from all over the world, whether they had one instrumental, one follower, didn't matter to me. I gave everybody an opportunity. I've done songs with artists you never heard of, and they're super mega stars all over the world. And this is still day one. Moving forward, I don't need to talk about these things. Every day cannot be like an interview to feed the negativity of people saying it's impossible, I don't get it. What is it that you don't get? What more time do you need to process the words that are coming out of my mouth? You don't need a doctorate level PhD to understand what I'm saying. If you have the best chassis and the best engine with the best driver, you're going to win races. If you don't have the best engine and you don't have the best chassis and you don't have the best driver, you're not going to win because the market is not going to wait for you. The market is not going to wait for anybody to approve you. Not from my family members and friends and peers and colleagues, not from your family members, your friends and peers and colleagues, not from any social political structure, not nationally, not internationally, not overseas, not in the Caribbean, not in Antarctica, the North Pole. This is true business. And it drives me because it bothers me that they keep this is what they keep from you when you're going to business school, when you're concentrating on these things. This is what they make seem like it's so impossible. What are you talking about? You know how many millionaires I've made? And they cannot put two and two, they can't put two plus two equals four. People that are just there privileged because they got the connections, they're part of the families, they know the people, they're Ivy Leagues, they're fraternal. There's so many different factors. And I'm running circles around them every year, every season, every cycle, every quarter. And we'll see. Remember, this is a long term game. This is 25 years from now. You're going to remember this conversation. You're going to be scratching your head. Hmm. I prayed, right? Prayed for it. I was determined. I decided what I wanted to do. The law of attraction, the universe responded, sent the people into my path for me to be successful. And instead of focusing on what God was giving me, I focused on what my cousin Juju was saying and what my aunt Lily said and what my homeboy down the street was saying and what my dogs were saying around me. I told Mauricio Ruiz, history is being written right now. And you have to ask yourself, what part of this chapter are you going to be? You see, opportunities have continued to flow in. And the value of things, because it's technology driven, only goes up. So the stakes are only going to go higher. If the pressure destroyed you here, what is it going to do to you right here? What is it going to do to you right here? This is a reflection of somebody's own personal life and turmoil. Mauricio Ruiz gave you Jesse Reyes. Mauricio Ruiz can also give you Venom R1. What the fear is, I don't see it. But it's not for me to explore and develop and pursue and process. I have to allow an empty space to fill itself. Only Mauricio knows. I think now he's starting to realize, wait a minute, what the heck just happened? Something is different. The energy shifted. The focus went from this to this to this to that. Okay, how do we move forward? This person is still mesmerized, trying to understand everything that is clear as daylight. If you have the best manager in the history of music, under all accolades, and you have the best and the biggest kept secret, the best artist that you don't know about, is me. Best chassis, best engine. Best driver, championships. I'll give you an example since we're talking automotive. This is like what McLaren did with their branding of the cars, knowing that McLaren wasn't even the winner for Ford. But that's a whole nother conversation. Go watch the movie, Ford versus Ferrari. Look at Red Bull. Red Bull is an energy drink. Red Bull does extreme gaming, extreme sports. But for automotive, we're talking Formula One prototype class. I was just watching, I put it on my LinkedIn, this competition with the skateboard launch for the record, Red Bull. Can you imagine this person's family saying, yo, you sell energy drinks. You can't race Formula One. You can't make apparel. You can't be in the X Games. You can't be into high end sports. What sets Red Bull apart from everybody else? They're the Red Bulls. They're going. Mauricio Ruiz has to learn the hard way. He doesn't need to be a bison. He needs to be a Red Bull. That's why there's a bull in front of a Lamborghini. We're not here to play games. The yacht club. You think I want to go to the yacht club by myself? You can come with me to the yacht club. There are open seats. You can be surrounded with people that are uber successful, uber down to earth, super cool. And guess what? Cool people want to be successful with cool people. And this is just one example. How many Mauricio Ruizes are there in the world? Get to the line of scrimmage, they get to the free throw line, they're not ready, they shoot. They're not looking, they shoot. What happens if you just take your time, right? When you get ready, you look around and you see if I missed a shot, somebody can catch the rebound. Ready, aim, focus, shoot. Put your wrist, put your elbow into it, a little bit of your shoulder, straighten out your knees, and push your feet forward. Fine. God bless you, mother. May God always protect you. Thank you, mama. Dios la bendiga. Right? How many times are you gonna get to the line of scrimmage, or you're gonna get to that 3 point line, or even the free throw line, and one of the steps in the sequence is not in line? Where eventually you say, you know what? Like Eric Thomas says, we're gonna put in all this work, practice, games, scrimmage games, exhibition games to be 10 and 20. We might as well win. We gotta practice anyway, right? We gotta play anyway. What are you so afraid of? How many companies have you failed in so tremendously that you're like, I could never do it again? Look at the story of 7 Up. There were 7 formulas before 7 Up. 7 Up was the one. Shout out to Sprite too. I got mad shirts with the Sprite on it. You get what I'm trying to say? What are people so afraid of? What are you afraid of? What people are gonna say?
Okay, thank you.
Right behind that fear is massive success. The NFT records, one is 120 million, the other one's like 70 million. So let's say 190, right? All right, let's say by the grace of God, we break that, we do over 200, 300, 400, 500 million. You know what's 5% of that, Mauricio Ruiz? That's 25 M's in 3 seconds. Do you know that once the gavel goes down at Christie Sotheby's, the money's already in your account? You know that the Bitcoin hits your digital wallet in that much time. You walk into Christie's, you Walk into Sotheby's with all of your family and friends and colleagues and business partners and haters and everything. You got all of it. And in 3 seconds, 25 million. For every 500 million, if it goes to a billion, that's 50 million. If it goes to 2 billion, that's 100 million. 3 seconds. You got something better than that? I digress. What are we here to talk about? What is the psychology of a person that has all of this and tells God, yo, I don't understand. I don't get it. I've been working on music my whole life. I developed an amazing talent and many other talented people. Now I have Voltron, all the lines combined. I got the Megazord. I got all the Power Rangers together. I got the whole Avengers. However you want to break it down. I don't understand. System failure, malfunction, need more input. It is not my position to educate an adult in an area and a field that only they themselves can develop. They have to sit down with God and say, God, yo, guide me every step of the way. Show me the path. I can't make that decision for them. They might not even believe in God, whatever they believe. But there's only but so many times that life is gonna present an opportunity for you, and if you don't capitalize on it, you have only yourself to hold accountable and responsible for. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. In the same way that what makes you think or assume that all my previous business partners don't kick themselves in the behind every day? They see what I'm doing and they understand that I know exactly what I'm talking about. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. I didn't just become a doctor and stop going to school. I didn't just become an engineer and stop going to school. I didn't just become a lawyer and stop going to school. I didn't just start doing music and stop going to school. I didn't just start doing movies and stop going to school. I didn't just start designing, developing, and writing video games and stop going to school. I never stopped going to school. Never stopped engineering. I'm working on the ninth generation Corvette. How about you, players? Doesn't mean I won't sell you a Ferrari or a Porsche or a Lamborghini. I'm just giving you an example. My portfolio is very well diversified. You know, this is just to give you an example. Just because you may be limited and you may not be able to handle minute things, doesn't mean that the average person cannot. Because this comes down to making that choice to believe in yourself. So the question is, does Mauricio Ruiz really and truly believe in himself to pull this off? Can you pull this off? Have a beautiful day, mother. See you tomorrow, mama. You too, mama. Right? Can Mauricio Ruiz take an artist with a 10,000 song catalog and hit a home run? And we're talking BlackRock and Blackstone. Don't talk to me about Universal and Warner Music Group and Sony and everybody else that's in between. Talk to me about BlackRock and Blackstone. Don't talk to me about Vanguard. Don't talk to me about Wells Fargo and JP Morgan Chase and whoever else. BlackRock, Blackstone. Can you handle it? Can I trust you to put a very significant portion of my portfolio, my catalog, into your hand? How about this? I'll give you 225 songs to negotiate. Let me see what you do. For Rick and Buddha, I got like 4,000 songs with them. They're ready to get paid. Uh, I think it's called BeatStars. I have another 6,000 songs in that catalog. I haven't even touched. They're ready to get paid. Are you ready to get paid? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. If any management team, if any manager can do it, it should be Mauricio Ruiz. I believe so, but I could be wrong. I stand corrected. Does Mauricio Ruiz truly, genuinely, from the bottom of his heart, understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Can he process these words and get to the accounting? Artist, 10,000 song catalog, English and Spanish, both languages, some in just English, some in just Spanish. With the catalog that I have with Farik and Buddha, world tour, the next 25 years. And we have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. Hold on. This is for the peanut gallery. And I'm going to close out because I don't, you know, then the artist of me comes out and then I don't want to be too uh, powerful where the weak and the faint of heart may feel intimidated instead of acknowledging the blessing that they have in their lives. So that's, like you guys can see, hold on, let me put it a little bit darker. Hold on. Gotta make sure you guys can see it. So those are all albums, by the way. Those are all albums. Let's go from the beginning. Let's go. Albums, 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 albums. Those are albums. Those are albums. Those are not songs. Those are albums. Mauricio Ruiz, The Manager's Playbook, YouTube. The man responsible for Jesse Reyes. The man who has worked with everybody who's somebody in one way, shape, or form. What can you do with this? What can you do with this? We're going to keep going. We'll just say your name one more time. Mauricio Ruiz, The Manager's Playbook, on YouTube. The man responsible for Jesse Reyes. If I just stop right here, all your favorite artists, their entire careers don't compose what I just showed you. And we could keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Those are all albums. Albums. I'm the man with 1,001 albums. Do you know another artist that has 1,001 albums? I don't. I feel like I'm playing a guitar. You want me to say your name one more time? I'm going to say your name one more time to see if this message goes through. Mauricio Ruiz, The Manager's Playbook, on YouTube. The man responsible for Jesse Reyes. Google her. She's once in a lifetime. She's like me. We're part of the same family. All right. So, your legendary artists, most have a catalog of less than 150 songs. We have 10,000. Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, DMX. Who else you want to put in there? Mind them all? Doesn't come close. And no artificial intelligence. That only increased the value of my catalog. So keep making all the AI. Shout out to Crystal Delgado, my lawyer, by the way. Keep making all the AI music that you want. Because all of mine is genuine. With the data to prove it. I'm on the blockchain forever. Let's go to OpenSea. Let's see what we can find in OpenSea.
Stacy?
Yo, I hate to do this, but this is all for Mauricio Ruiz. Look at the date, August 21. You need more time, Mauricio? You need more time? You need more time? How much more time do you need? What else you need to think about, Mauricio? What else you need to think about? You know who that guy is?
Monday
You know
what?
what this is right here, Mauricio? Let me tell you what this is. This NFT is the key to this Pagani Huayra Roadster. I gave it away to my fans. This is the key to the car. To start the car, you use this, turns the car on. That car is like $10 million. Okay, you see what that says right there, Mauricio? One owner, that's me. You need more time? Let's give you more time, Mauricio. How much more time do you need? You need a month? You need 2 months? Or you need 3 months? Because it's October. We have November, we have December. That means Thanksgiving is coming up, Christmas is coming up, New Year's is coming up. How much more time do you need? You're gonna go listen to your cousin Juju or my cousin Juju. You're gonna listen to your Uncle Sam or my Uncle Sam. If I see greatness in you and you don't see greatness in yourself, there's a problem. And you cannot force things in life. The same way that sun rises, you know what that tells me? I need to be in the yacht club. Because that sunrise every day in the morning, I wait for it in the yacht. And once I finish my workout and doing everything I need to do, and I finish surfing, then I go to my garage and I go get my car, and I drive it for a few hours. And if somebody wants to buy it, it's always for sale. Cyrexplex at gmail.com. Hit me up on my neck, 504-202-5915, 24/7. Link up with me on LinkedIn. I'm kind of a big deal over there. Every entrepreneur is going to face similar challenges. What you do with those challenges determines your success. I've been investing since the 80s and the 90s. This is 2025. This is not a new game for me. This is not a new realm. There's nothing new about this to me. There's nothing unknown to me about this. I invest in my own money. I built my own portfolio. I built my own companies. When everybody said, no, it's impossible, you can't do it, you shouldn't do it because this, because of that. So I leave you guys with that. Have an amazing day today. May you conquer everything in your path and everything that you touch turn into solid gold. And beautiful and precious gemstones such as moissanite and laboratory grown diamonds. Always remember to dream big because dreams come true. It happened to me, and I know for a fact it's going to happen to you. We'll see you on the next one. We'll be right back at the Yacht Club. Have an amazing day. Mauricio, everything that I'm sending to you is coming from a place of love and understanding and trust. I see greatness in you, whether we do business or not, but it's about time. What you're feeling right now, the lack thereof, is that you know that you need to be here and you're still here playing in the sandbox. I already told you, you're in my sandbox. All the sand belongs to you. Whenever you're ready, all of my contacts are public domain, all of them. The only way you have to activate Connect is if we're negotiating, and it's $390,000 an hour to speak to you. And the minimum is 4 days, 48 hours. So 48 hours times 390,000. That's how much you have to pay to speak to me. But if it's not a negotiation, just call me, write to me, email me, send me a DM. We communicate very well on YouTube. If that's your comfort zone, I got you. Consultation fees to for us to meet. I'll fly to Vancouver. I'll fly to Toronto. I'll meet you in California. I'll meet you in Colombia, wherever you want. Not a problem. My time frame with everything that I'm doing, I say before December. So you have about what, 45 to 60 days. Let's see what you do with that. I want to make sure my loved ones, my granddaughter Nolani, the owner of the company now, officially, I want to make sure she has the best Christmas any little girl has ever had. And I want to make sure that you can deliver that to your loved ones. And when I go to the yacht club, pull out my Lamborghini, today's Lamborghini, tomorrow I'm going to drive a different one. I would love for you to have one as well so we could go on a cruise. We could go to Cars and Coffee at Starbucks. I just happen to be the owner of that Starbucks as well. We'll see you on the next one. Dreams come true.
248.